All right, so let's talk about what you're working on. I know that you're a member of TAMPAN. There's a lot of restructuring going on there. TAMPAN, even went viral before the Princess both that happened. Me, I just hear TAMPAN was there, but there was never.
You never saw that visible.
Yes, but now I just say, hey, TAMPAN, what's going on? What happened? We just went viral.
What's happening?
What's going on in TAMPAN? Right?
Okay, let me quickly say this. There's nothing like a bad press, as far as I'm concerned. Now, it now depends on how you now handle this after the whole thing. Now, TAMPAN is just a 6-year-old baby, and we're still growing. We're just trying to restructure and reposition ourselves to the right path. So, the whole Zaga that happened recently and all that and the blah, 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 made TAMPAN much more popular. Now, popular for what? For bad reasons, though, you know. But still, we believe that we still have a long way going, because everybody will agree with me that before now, it's not even the TAMPAN thing now, it's the entertainment sector. The entertainment sector is so porous, so loose, and so free that anybody can wake up and say, fine, I want to be an actor. And next morning, I'm a director, and nobody's regulating that industry. And unlike the banking sector where, you know, there were times in Nigeria we had banks everywhere.
Yes, yes.
And all of a sudden, the federal government said, okay, let there be capital base. You know, some bank left, some merged. Do you understand? Even now, some banks are still coming together to form stronger banks.
Yes.
So that's for an industry where
there's regulation.
Do you understand? How much more an industry where there's an open gate for anybody to come in and all that. And so after the whole thing, we started to, okay, fine, let's have, TAMPAN has always been a coalition of guilds. Unlike other associations, TAMPAN has, in TAMPAN we have guild of directors, we have guild of actors, guild of cinematographers, and of, you know, several guilds in TAMPAN. Now, I am the chairman guild of directors, and so we said, okay, fine, for every movie, there must be a director. Now, when we start with directors and we try to put our house in order, I think we can be able to streamline all these things and be able to say, okay, who is in and who is out. Now, if we're trying to build a glass house and we bring in only the freeborn and we locked out the bastards outside, the bastard out there will throw stones.
Break the glass stones.
And to make it unbearable for both the freeborn and the bastards to live in. So what we did is, okay, fine, let's have an open gate for everybody to come in. When everybody is in, we give them the rules and regulations governing the house. Now, those that fail to comply, we send them out. Then we know that when there's a stone coming from somewhere, we can easily pinpoint who the person is. Do you understand? So that's what we're trying to do, and that leads us to having to organize a retreat for the directors.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we're having a retreat for the directors on the 25th and 26th of this month. So let's come together. Let's talk. Let's have a roundtable talk. Let's analyze the problems where we got it wrong, and the way. Do you understand? And the way forward, because sometimes we can't belong to an association, and people have different reasons for being part of the association. You know, so some are members of the association because they have dubious sort of income and they don't want to cover up. You know.
Let's talk about what standards. So there were movies responding to this issue that brought TAMPAN out.
Yes.
Movies, one person producing a movie to tell his own narrative, the other person not, you know. Somebody even did a movie of a matter that was in court. What exactly would you people not allow, and how would you enforce that you're disallowing it? What exactly, let me say it, the Yomi Fabiyi movie, could you have done anything about it? Okay,
like I said earlier, that there needs to be a proper regulation.
Yes.
Now, I'm happy that when TAMPAN came up with their stand on Yomi Fabiyi, he said he was never a member of TAMPAN. Now, it shows that even when there are rules and regulations governing the association, somebody who is just an associate, you know, and not a member will always want to flog that rule and all that. So definitely what we're trying to do is this. We have screening for everybody. Then there's a revalidation exercise going on. Now, if you're coming in as a member of the association and you've filled your form, you've signed to it and all that, that means you're ready to work with the laws and the bylaws governing the association. Then when you do something contrary to that, then I think sanction should come for you.
Okay, the if there, it's where I have a problem. So, for instance, you can't just go and set up a meat shop or you set up a tailoring shop. The association will find you and you know, they'll shut it down. You have to pay the dues. You have to. So now if you leave it at the word, I'm looking at the word if, That means it's your choice to either belong to TAMPAN or not. Is there no way that if you decide that you're coming into this industry, you must be a member of this?
Can you get government backing?
We're working alongside with the Censors Board, the Nigeria Video Film and Censors Board, and now it's compulsory for every movie maker to belong to a guild. Gonna do this where you say, I'm a freelance, I want to operate. No, you can't do that now. You must belong to a guild. Now, if you make a movie and your director is a member of a guild, it's not compulsory to belong to TAMPAN. So we have other guilds. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, we have like 13 recognized guilds, in Nigeria right now. So you must belong to a guild. No matter, even if you have a company and you don't know that, you must belong to a guild. Now, if you don't belong to a guild, you cannot practice. Now, for those that belong to TAMPAN, they must follow the rules and regulation. And everyone must just be aware of those rules. And that's why we're having that retreat, so that we all can come together. This is our stand on this. This is where we stay on this. These are the do's and don'ts.
Yeah. So one thing I find on social media, especially when there's a Yoruba-speaking actor or actress, or Yoruba is involved, people just immediately call TAMPAN. And then you have people say, no, we are not part of it. So, I think it's important, as you said, that people also need to know, okay, I am a TAMPAN member, and not just because I speak Yoruba. But secondly, there's always this fight that happens on social media, and I'm wondering what TAMPAN's stance is on people that go to social media to fight.
Something happened recently that even led to the bigger fight and all that. So we realized that because we're too porous, we have people coming on and coming into the association and all that. And the next thing is when there's a little fight, they go on social media. Now, what we realize is this. Fine, social media has come to stay. There's nothing anybody can do about it. It has come to stay. So what we need to do is, how do we manage it? That's what we're talking about anger. Anger is part of life. It's part of what we must face every day. But we must learn to manage the emotional side of it. So now what we're trying to do is, how do we manage social media? It's like a two-edged sword. If you're not careful, it can cut you. And if you're properly handled, it can protect you. So now, when the memo that led to the suspension of a female actor and a male actor, I signed that memo. As a director, I just called a meeting, my members and all that, and I said, come, this nonsense must stop. Why must you come to settle your scores on social media? Do you understand? We have rules, we have regulations. And I issued a memo and I said, no director should work with both of them. Do you understand? It's an internal memo to all directors. And when you're filming and another director is working with you, I want to say how you want to. Do you understand? That has been resolved. So now what we're trying to say is this. Now, that cautioned a whole lot of people. If you notice that after that incident, a lot of people stepped down and backed out from the normal, usual social media ranting. People do that because they want to create content and gain followers. We
have to run up very soon. But you see, you said something that I thought was important. Emotions. Because we saw it even in the leadership of TAMPAN. Yeah. You see, leading in the past and leading in the present are two different things. So we know the leadership, the fathers, there's a way they will caution a child. But in today's times, they can be interpreted in different ways. So I know there are some outbursts that maybe like, let me say, the elder Jide Koshoko had said, maybe he didn't mean it the way it came out. But in anger, there's a way you say it. So what are you doing to ensure that even these emotional outbursts we have, that we also caution ourselves internally, because anything can go onto social media right now and then can be misinterpreted. So they also, I know, and I hope that this will be addressed at the retreat, where leaders on all levels know that you cannot be talking to people anyhow like they used to. It must be very civil language. Yes, use civil language. We've seen it even in leadership, in Nigerian leadership. You just see people speaking anyhow, saying Nigerians are this. So what are you doing? How are you going to address these kind of issues at the retreat?
Okay, now, one thing is this. We are Africans. We have culture, we have tradition. But at the same time, we need to separate culture and tradition away from administration. Do you understand? On a normal day, as a CEO, you can come in and say, okay, this is what I want. You know, your friend in the establishment can say, okay, sir, do you understand? In administration, that's the way it should be. But under the African tribes, can say, already, no, that can't work. We can, you know, even though you have reservations, there's a way you table it, there's processes that it has to pass. No, so that's what we need to separate. I said something like I said, social media has come to stay. There's nothing anybody can do about it. So what we are trying to do at TAMPAN now is, how do we restructure ourselves, how do we rebuild ourselves, and how do we reposition ourselves? TAMPAN is just 6 years. And we thank God that at the level at which we're picking up now, we are the largest guild in Africa. No guessing about that, yes. Nigeria's Entertainment Guild in Africa.
You have messages hailing you. So Onabanjo Dapo says, Damola happens to be a fantastic actor on set. Ladies, happy weekend. Titilayo Uria Detu says, well done, Damola.
Thank you.
She's also commending BC for her comments. Bamidele Aimoyewa says, actors and celebrities with balanced marriages and family lives are often without too much friends.
All right, we have to run, unfortunately.
Okay.
That's all we can take.
To ask if you don't have friends,
we run out of time, but thank you. For in 5 seconds, what are you working on? What should we be looking out for?
Okay, actually, aside the TAMPAN Guild of Directors retreat, I'm working on my personal project. That is confidential. It's actually a cinema job.
It's called Confidential or...
That's the title of the movie, Confidential.
Okay, we don't confidential.
No, that's the title of the movie, Confidential. It's a cinema project, and I've been on it now for over a year, and we're almost done, and it's coming out.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
That's all we can take. It's been an interesting week so far.